right, now we're going to have the reading of the law. We're going to begin in Exodus, the 20th chapter, verses 1 through 17. When you get them, read them, brother.
And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and the earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
We're going to go into Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter, verses 13 and 14. Read it when you get it.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God shall bring every work into judgment, with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
We're going into Revelations 22. Revelations 22, that's the last book, the last chapter in the last book, verses 14 and 15. Read it when you get it.
Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without our dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. So
that is the reading of the law, and this is the path of life. If you like that man that asked the Lord, what must he do to have eternal life? He said, keep the commandments. This is the path of eternal life, is keeping the commandments. And we read that from Genesis all the way to Revelation. So if anybody come and tell you anything different, if they come and tell you anything different, then they are outside of the doctrine of Christ. They can't call themselves a Christian. And Christ is just a Greek word for anointed one, which is equated to the Messiah. So even if they come out the old book and they not dealing with the law, they out of pocket. It's because there's no understanding in them. But I want to say good afternoon to all the children of the covenants, to the Commonwealth of Israel, and to the natural seed and spiritual seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Good afternoon. And again, the Lord has blessed me to stand before you. And today we're going to deal with a lesson that nobody's going to like. The husband's not going to like it. The wife's not going to like it. The men not going to like it. The women not going to like it. The boys not going to like it. The girls not going to like it. But here's the thing. If you understand it, you're responsible for everything you understand. So if you don't like it, that means you understand. That's just a caveat. So, you can pretend with me, but not with God. So the title of today's lesson is of course, everybody got a copyright. It's Adam's Rib. Adam's Rib. Because when the Lord made man, he made them male and female at the same time. Some people don't understand that. At the same time. And before Eve talked to Satan, they was completely equal. But we're going to get into it. Genesis 1, and we're going to begin reading at verse 26. 1 and 26. Let's go.
And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea.
Did it say them?
Let us make man in our image.
And let them have dominion?
Let them have dominion.
So it's them having dominion, not him, but them. Come on.
And over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth.
So they have dominion over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. And y'all know what I like to talk about, what's creeping on the earth. Who is it? Satan and all those fallen angels creeping on the earth.
Oh, yeah.
They're creeping on the earth. So now if you are in the image of God, because he said, let them have dominion, because we know the Godhead is two in the Godhead. So when he said, let them have dominion, they are in the image of the Godhead. Not you by yourself, brother, and not you by yourself, sister, but y'all two are in the image of the Godhead. And they both have all power. Y'all hear me? Okay, let's go.
So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them.
So she wasn't an afterthought. She not no Johnny come lately or no Jane come lately. There the whole time. Come on.
And God blessed them. And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth.
And refill the earth. Go ahead.
And subdue it.
And subdue it. That means take control of it. So that means nobody went to the moon, because he ain't say subdue the moon and the stars, did he? So we know that's a hoax, right?
All day.
That's another word for an elaborate lie. We got dominion over what's on this earth and what's flying around in this atmosphere. Go ahead and read.
And have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth.
So we have dominion over the fowls of the air, right? But not the stars, not the sun and the moon, but the fowls of the air. Those great eagles, we have dominion. Y'all seen men and women tame eagles, right? And falcons and stuff like that, and elephants, and dolphins. Not sharks, but dolphins. Was that it?
That was 28.
Okay. So he gave them dominion. He created them in the image of God. Let's go into chapter 2. Chapter 2. I'm just going to walk it down. Now, don't get scared, because I know there's a lot of scriptures in this, but don't be too afraid, because y'all know sometimes I'll cut some out, and then if I hear too many electronic devices, I'll put them back in. All right, chapter 2. We coming with verse 18. 18. Is it? I don't know. I'm skipping something.
No, you got it. You got it.
Okay.
You got it.
I be skipping stuff, you know. Verse 18, what'd he say?
And the Lord God said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him. So this help that's meet for him, this help that's adequate for him. So he gonna make it so he ain't gonna go back into the ground and make him a help that's adequate for him. Go ahead. And out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature.
Wait a minute, read that again. Start that over.
And out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air.
And every fowl of the air? Somebody told me the fowl came from the water. Anyway, hopefully they watch it. Go ahead and read.
And brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof.
That was the name thereof. So God didn't name the creatures. He probably named the species, but he didn't name the creatures. So Adam did that. Eve didn't help him do it, but it's a reason for that. If we look further down the line, if we looking into tomorrow, it's a reason for that. Y'all want to know now? Okay, no. Go ahead and read.
And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to all fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an helpmeet for him.
Go ahead.
And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept.
Mm-hmm.
And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof.
Stop. So now everybody feel their ribs, right? Every man missing one, and every woman got an extra one. Except for Janet Jackson. Anyway, y'all know what she did. Anyway, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, brother. Good, but what verse we at?
That's we at 22.
22? All right, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna make it through this, y'all. We're gonna make it through. Verse 22, go ahead and read.
And the rib which the Lord God had taken from man made he a woman and brought her unto the man.
So where he get the woman from? And where the rib come from?
Man.
Came from the man, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he named the animals and the fowl and everything, and then the woman came out of the man. That's why she's called woman. She's out of the man or from the man. So the man supposed to be the nurturer, because now he got to say, hey, look here, sister, this what this is, and this what that is, and this is what we can't do, and this is what we can do. He supposed to have all this knowledge and bestow it upon her. Go ahead.
And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh.
Mm-hmm.
She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man.
So God called her female, Adam called her woman. So he even named the woman woman. But it's a reason for all this. But it's because it's the image of the Godhead. I'm gonna tell you. So the Father and Jesus, they are equal, but the Father had preeminence. He got the final say. But they are one. This is the thing about it. They are one mind. They don't think differently. They agree.
Yes.
Because they one mind. And this man and this woman supposed to be likewise one mind. Let's get to it. Go ahead.
Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife.
So now when your wife getting on your nerves, you can't run back to your mother and your father. And when your husband being unreasonable, you can't go get your brothers to come beat him up. Can't do that. Go ahead.
And they shall be one flesh.
They shall be one flesh. Or, in other words, one mind. They supposed to be one. This how it go. So when she want to go swimming, and you know you can't swim a lick, you go get you some swimming trunks and what you call them vests you put on?
Life jackets.
Life jackets. And you going out there and go swim with her. And if he want to go to the basketball game, I'll be sitting there griping. Enjoy the game. I'm just saying. Where we at?
That's the end of 24.
All right. Well, we're going to be in Genesis all day, but right now, we're coming back to Genesis, but we're going to go into Mark the 10th chapter. Mark chapter 10. You got it, my brother?
Got it.
We're going to begin reading at verse 2. Mark 10 and verse 2, what he say?
And the Pharisees came to him and asked him, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife, tempting him?
Mm-hmm.
And he answered and said unto them, what did Moses command you?
This is what always supposed to happen. What's in the book? Not what somebody's opinion is. What is in the book? The Lord that set the president's right there. What's in the book? What did the book say? What did Moses tell you? Go ahead and read.
And they said, Moses suffered to write a bill of divorcement and to put her away.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus answered and said unto them, for the hardness of your heart he wrote you this precept.
So you will stop trying to kill him and poison him and beat him to death. Huh? He said, go ahead and write a bill of divorcement. to save her life. Not to make you happy, but to save her from your abuse. So, pardon me for keeping it $150, but that's how it go. But Moses tells you to write her a bill of divorcement for the hardness of your hearts. Go ahead.
But from the beginning of the creation, God made them male and female.
Mm-hmm.
For this cause shall a man leave his father and his mother, and to cleave to his wife.
So the Lord reiterated what he said in the beginning and reconfirmed it. So a man and his wife supposed to be one mind, one flesh. Go ahead and read.
What therefore God hath joined together, let not man be put asunder.
Put asunder, right? So he said, regardless of what Moses wrote, because Moses wrote that precept, he said God didn't condone that. See, God, he don't get out with divorce. But Moses, trying to save the sister, said, you know what? Let me go on and divorce her, man, before you kill her, before you do something real bad to her, before you turn her away from God. Because sometimes that'll happen. The man treated her so bad, then she'll turn away from God.
Ooh-wee.
Go ahead and read.
And in the house the disciples asked him again of the same matter. And he saith unto them, whosoever shall put away his wife and marry another committeth adultery against her.
But the Old Testament scholars say a man can't commit adultery, but the Lord, the Messiah, say if you put away your wife and marry another, you commit adultery. This is what the Lord say. This is the one that gave you the law in the first place. Continue to read.
Verse 12. And if a woman shall put away her husband and be married.
So women would put away their husbands. So if she do this and she divorce her husband, go ahead.
And be married to another, she committeth adultery.
She committeth adultery. So here's the thing. If you get married to somebody, if they don't commit adultery, it don't matter how the relationship go, y'all married. If he don't commit adultery, y'all married. Because there's only two ways out of, really one way, out of a marriage. And that's death. So when you get in that tub down there getting baptized and everything, don't think you can walk away from this because you have married the Lord. And there's only one way out of this marriage, and that's death.
Death.
Because even if you commit adultery, you got to die for that. Huh?
Oh,
Y'all
yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So there's only one way out. It's death. That's good, though, right? You finished that?
Yeah, that's the end of that.
Okay. Proverbs 18 real quick.
18.
See, I told y'all wasn't nobody going to like it. Because there's going to be stuff in here that the brothers don't like and stuff that the sisters don't like. And everything that I like. What I say, Proverbs 18?
Yep, that's what
All
you
right.
said.
Read that real quick, verse 22. What do you say?
22. Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing.
So the Lord, when the Lord got that rib from Adam, he said, I will make Adam a help that's adequate for him, a help that's good for him. I'm going to give him what he needs. Right? Because a man don't need another man unless he's building a skyscraper or something. Huh? And a woman don't need another woman unless, she need help with the laundry or something. They're washing it on the rocks or something. So he gave Adam what he needed. And then likewise, the woman came into the world with what she needed. Huh? That was it?
No.
Finish that.
And obtaineth favor of the Lord.
And so he obtained favor of the Lord, because that means he can't be doing no stupid stuff now.
Nope.
He can't be going out doing the fool, because his wife right there.
Get him.
Huh? Can't be going out doing the fool. And she can't be messing with him during football season.
Right.
Only basketball season, baseball season, maybe, but not football season. I'm just trying to help a little bit, Okay.
Fair enough, brother.
All right. So where we going now? Back to Genesis.
Yeah.
So we're gonna look at some sisters and brothers who made some decisions that was kind of questionable, and look at the results, right? So Genesis 16, right? That's where we're going?
16.
Mm-hmm. All right. So Sarah, instead of, well, we're going to get to it, but she wanted some children, right? She didn't have no children, so she spoke to her husband about this thing. 16 in verse 1. All right, my brother, go ahead.
Now Sarai, Abram's wife, bare him no children, and she had a handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. And Sarai said unto Abram, Behold now, the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid, that it may be that I may obtain children by her.
So now, instead of her taking it to the Lord, she took it to her husband. Well, the Lord have restrained me from bearing. Well, if the Lord have restrained you from bearing, then go talk to the Lord about it. Why are you talking to me? But she said, now take my handmaid, and so this is the beginning of having a surrogate mother. So I'm going to have children by my handmaid, because they still her husband's children, so I guess that's how that go. But she didn't take it to the Lord, though. She took it to her husband. Go ahead and read.
And Abram hearkened unto the voice of Sarai. And Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, and Abraham had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband, Abram, to be his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived, and when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes.
So now, she had the child for this man. So now, either she hated her mistress for giving her to this man, or, well, I had this baby, so I should be the main woman. You know, I should be the one sleeping in the bedroom with him, not her. Whatever it was. But Abram, you know, he appeased his wife. I'm pretty sure he didn't have a problem with it. You know, okay, honey. So Hagar, she was upset about it. She wasn't upset with Abram, but she was upset with Sarai. You finished that?
That's the end of verse 4.
Yeah, we're going to chapter 21. And let's see the rest of this. (21 and 1). Go ahead and read.
And the Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did unto Sarah as he had spoken.
So now, the Lord gave her a child. This was he was going to do anyway. But she, without any patience and without any long suffering, she was hasty about it. But now she got a child now. Go ahead.
For Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age, at the set time of which God had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son that was born unto him, whom Sarah bare to him, Isaac.
Mm-hmm. Now Isaac, he is the child of the covenant, because the covenant was with Abraham and his wife Sarah. So, well, you know, with Abraham, but Sarah was his wife. So, of course, the child gonna come this way. But Sarah was being hasty about it. But continue to read. You finished 3?
Yeah, that was 3.
All right, go ahead and skip down to whatever we're going to skip down to.
Verse 8.
Verse 8?
Yep.
Yeah, because I'm supposed to be marking stuff off. Verse 8, go ahead and read.
And the child grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast the same day that Isaac was weaned.
Mm-hmm.
And Sarah saw
Wait, a great feast on the day he was weaned?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. Okay. I wonder what that was about.
Rite of passage out.
Rite of passage? Okay. So, a great feast. Go ahead and read.
And Sarah saw the son of Hagar the Egyptian, which she had born unto Abraham, mocking.
Because he was about 13 years elder to Isaac. So, he had a problem with it. Well, they didn't do all this for me. They probably did. We don't know. But he had a problem with that. A little jealousy crept in. Go ahead.
Wherefore she said unto Abraham, Cast out this bondwoman and her son. For the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, even with Isaac.
So now she tells this man to get rid of his own son. That's deep right there. Abraham good, because I'd have been like, woman, or Riverdale.
Oh,
My children ain't going nowhere. But anyway, that's just me. That's why the covenant ain't with me. So we're going to get through it. Don't worry about it. We're going to get through it. What verse we at now?
we have verse 11.
Verse 11, go ahead and read.
And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight,
Of course.
because of his son.
Mm-hmm.
And God said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad, and because of thy bondwoman, and all that Sarah hath said unto thee. Hearken unto her voice, for in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
So the Lord had told Abraham that Sarah was going to have a child, and, you know, the covenant was going to go through him. But still, this is this man's son. I'm going to send my son away. Okay, Lord, if that's what I got to do. If the Lord said, then it got to be. But if it was just her, ain't going to happen. But so, you finished that?
Yeah, that's it for
All right.
21st
So,
chapter.
so he said, listen to your wife, man, because I got something for you. But now, that was 21. Let's go into 25 real quick. 25, and we're going to begin at verse 18. We just walking it down. I'm trying to get through them so we can get to the heart of, the heart of everything. Go ahead and read.
Verse 19.
Verse 19, I apologize. Verse 19, go ahead.
And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padan Aram, and the sister to Laban the Syrian.
So now we got Laban here. He gonna come in a little bit later, but go ahead.
And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived.
Now you see what going to the Lord do? If Sarah had done that, or Sarai had done that, maybe the Lord would have allowed her to conceive. But Isaac, he went to the Lord for his wife, because he only had one wife. So he went to the Lord for his wife, like, well, yeah,
Yes, sir.
please, Lord, let it be your will. But go ahead, my brother.
And the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord.
Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. The one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger.
So this is what he tell her, and he instructed her on how this was going to go. And she going to have twins. And she wondered, like, what in the world is going on inside of me? So he said, you're going to have twins, and the elder going to serve the younger. Uh-huh. You finished that?
No, we got to read the 24.
Oh, go ahead.
And when her dates to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her room. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. And they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out. And his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
So now we got, excuse me, we got Esau and Jacob here. These are twins that came from Isaac's wife. So let's go into the next 27th chapter. Pick this up again. Genesis 27. I ain't skipping nothing, am I?
No, you on track.
Okay. We gonna read verse 1. Yep, we're gonna begin at verse 1.
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
And it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son and said unto him, my son. And he said unto him, behold, here am I. And he said, behold now, I am old. I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison. and make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die.
So now he get ready to leave, and so he gonna bless his son. Because Esau's the oldest, so he gonna give him he got the birthright, correct? But the Lord already told their mother that the elder was gonna serve the younger. So just so you remember that, so how this go, don't think she a real bad person. She doing what she had to do. But go ahead and read.
And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau, his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt for venison and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speaking to Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison and make me savory meat, that I may eat and bless thee before the Lord before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee.
So now both of these are her sons, but she know what the Lord, she remembered what the Lord told her, so she's saying, hey, we got to take action with this. We got to prevent this from happening so that the blessing and the birthright could go to the correct person. And we didn't read it all, but prior to this, Esau sold his birthright to Jacob. So it was his anyway. But that's something you can read on your own. Go ahead and read.
Go now to the flock and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah, his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man. So
they was different. One was red all over and hairy, and Jacob was a plain man. So he was like, we smell different, our voice is different, we sound different. Like, nah, he gonna think I'm a deceiver. Then he gonna curse me. But his eyes are so bad that he can't tell the difference. You know, they might have been built the same because they his sons, so they, like pretty much all got the same body build, but things are different though. Go ahead.
And I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will feel me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, not a blessing.
Go ahead.
And his mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son. Only obey my voice, and go and fetch me them.
So she said, just do what I tell you to do, son, and if the Lord is upset with you about this, then let it be on me, because I'm doing what the Lord told me to do, right? We're going to skip down to verse, was it 41?
41.
41, let's go.
41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at a hand, and then I will slay my brother Jacob. So he
hated his brother Jacob because for the birthright, but he sold the birthright for a morsel of bread. And Isaac told him, I already blessed Jacob, and he gonna be blessed. I can't take the blessing back.
Nope.
But he gave him a little something. He said, hey, the fat of the earth, you're gonna have that. And we know they control all the money, right? So they got that. Go ahead and read.
And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, and arise, and flee down to Laban, to my brother in Haran, and tarry with him a few days, until thy brother's fury turn away. So now this is her brother, this Laban. We read that earlier, right? So that's gonna come up in a little bit later. But the thing here is that this sister saved her son's life, and she abided in the word that the Lord gave her. So she took it upon herself to take care of this business for the Lord, because this was the Lord's business. See, sometimes when the man not doing it, the Lord will give it to the woman to take care of the Lord's business. So for the men, you got to be standing on business. You got to stand on your square. If you don't want to be supplanted by the woman, stand on your square. You done with that? We got to read 45.
Go ahead and read.
46. Until thy brother's anger turn away from thee, and he forget that which thou hast done to him. Then I will send and fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day?
She said, Why should I let you be killed and then he had to die too? So no, we ain't doing that. So you going to get out of here, go to my brother. But that's good. Let's go into to 29, chapter 29. So Jacob go down there, he get him some wives, right, from his uncle. 29 and 16. 29 and 16, go ahead and read it.
And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. And Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. Mm-hmm. And Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter.
So, the custom of the land wasn't like that, but he said, I'll serve you for Rachel, thy younger daughter, because he met her when he was on his way there. She was the first woman he saw, and he fell in love with her. So he said, I'll work for you 7 full years to marry your daughter, Rachel. And the man agreed to it. Go ahead and read.
And Laban said, it is better that I give her to thee than I should give her to another man. Mm-hmm. Abide with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days for the love he had to her.
So he must have really been in love with this sister to work for 7 years, and it seemed like a couple of weeks.
It'd be like that.
It'd be like that. But anyway, go ahead. What verse?
We got 21.
21? All right, go ahead.
And Jacob said unto Laban, give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter and brought her to him, and he went in unto her.
So now for this to happen, he had to be scumbumbling, right? Uh-huh. He had to be 4 sheets to the wind. Y'all know what I mean? He had to be drunk. Because they didn't look alike. So
nope.
So Laban said, let me get this boy drunk because I can't get a younger away before the elder. So let me use a little deception here. But go ahead and read.
So, and Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah his maid for a handmaid. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said unto Laban, what is this that thou hast done unto me?
Why have you deceived me, man? We had an agreement. I worked for 7 full years. So. And you going to trick me, man? Go ahead.
Did not I serve with thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me? And Laban said, it must not be so done in our country to give the younger before the firstborn.
Well, you should have said that in the beginning. I only would have worked 3 years. But go ahead and read.
Fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years.
So that's what a prophetic week is, in 7 years. He said, fulfill her week, and I'll give you her too. Go ahead.
And Jacob did so, and fulfilled her week, and he gave him Rachel his daughter to wife also.
So 14 years he worked. 14 years he was there. So now all this time Esau, he can't still be mad, right? He prospered and everything. I got this book called Sarcophagus of a Lost Civilization. It's all about the Edomites and the Ishmaelites and the Jacobites too, but not too much. But they prospered. So he gone 14 years. Even though he got the birthright, Esau assumed it because Jacob was gone. But go ahead. What verse?
29.
Come on.
And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah his handmaid to be her maid. And he went in also unto Rachel, and he loved Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet 7 other years. Mm-hmm. And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened up her womb, but Rachel was barren. And Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben, for she said, surely the Lord hath looked upon my affliction. Now therefore my husband will love me. So
look, I've had this first child, so he gonna love me now. He didn't work 7 years for you. He worked 14 years for one woman. So you might think that's gonna help, but it's been tried. And it's, and it still don't work.
You ain't lying.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, that was it?
Yeah, that was the end of that.
Okay, let's go into 31 through 4, 31 through 4.
And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister and said unto Jacob, Give me children, or else I die. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said, Am I in God's stead, who hath withheld thee from the fruit of the womb?
That's what Abram should have said to Sarai. Am I God? What you mean? Why you coming to me with this? So he tells this one, hey, why are you coming at me? I can't make you have a baby. I tried, but I can't make it happen. But you know how that go. Well, she got a child. I want one too. Right? Go ahead.
And she said, Behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her.
So look, we see this happen again. Instead of the woman going to the Lord with it, they come to their husband with it, like he can control that. You know, like I'm trying my hardest. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't mind, but but it ain't happening. What you want me to do? So you gotta take that to the Lord, right? You done with that? Because we gotta get out of this. We gotta.
There's one more verse.
All right, go ahead and read.
And she gave him Bilhah her handmaid to wife, and Jacob went in unto her.
And we'll read a little bit more.
And Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son. And Rachel said, God hath judged me, and hath also heard my voice, and hath given me a son. Therefore she called she his name Dan.
So now, let me show you what they should have been doing instead of going at their husbands. Let me show you what they should have been doing. Let's go into 1 Samuel, the first chapter.
Oh, yeah.
We coming right back here, though, but let's go into 1 Samuel, the first chapter. And we're going to begin reading at verse 1. First Samuel 1:1. Go ahead and read, brother.
Now there was a certain man of Remath-Zophim of the Mount Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Jeroboam, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zuph, and the son of Ephratite. And he had 2 wives. The name of the one was Hannah, and the name of the other Peninnah. And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. Mm-hmm. And this man went up out of the city yearly to worship and to sacrifice unto the Lord of hosts in Shiloh. And the 2 sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, the priests of the Lord, were there. And when the time that was that Elkanah offered, he gave to Peninnah his wife and to all her sons and her daughters portions. But unto Hannah he gave a worthy portion, for he loved Hannah.
So he loved Hannah, but Hannah didn't have no children for him. But he got this Peninnah. She got him sons and daughters. So they get a bigger, because it's more of them. So they get a bigger portion of whatever it was, you know. But he took care of Hannah, right?
Yep.
But what happened?
But the Lord had shut up her womb.
So the Lord had shut up her womb. So why you gonna go to your husband when the Lord shut up your womb? Why you talking to him about it? Talk to the one that shut it up. And take it to him. But anyway, what verse was that?
That was verse 5.
Mm-hmm. Verse 9, what did it say?
9. So Hannah rose up after they had eaten in Shiloh, and after they had drunk. Now Eli the priest sat upon a seat by a post of the temple of the Lord. And she was in bitterness of soul, and prayed unto the Lord, and wept sore.
And wept sore. That means she wept greatly. She really took it to the Lord like pleading and begging. Because sometimes that's what you got to do. You got to be, seek out the Lord with tears sometimes. You know, and even fasting. When you want something that bad, and it's not like, you know, unworthy for you to have. If the Lord allow you to have it, then he'll give it to you. Just show him that you're sincere. But what happened? Go ahead and read.
And she vowed a vow and said, O Lord of hosts, if thou wilt indeed look on the affliction of thine handmaid and remember me, and not forget thine handmaid, but will give unto thine handmaid a man-child, then I will give him unto the Lord all the days of his life.
So she said, look, if you give me a child, she made a promise to the Lord. If you give me a son, I will give him to you all the days of his life. Just give me a son. Because this is a thing to rejoice about, having a child. That's a time for rejoicing. Not a time for mourning, not a time for, oh, what am I going to do? You know, not a time for, where's it legal for me to get this done? But it's a time for rejoicing, bringing a life into the world and sharing that life with that child and teaching them the ways of God. I remember when I couldn't wait to be a parent. I was like, because I wasn't raised in the Word like I should have been. But I was like, I'm raising my children to serve God always. And as y'all can see, most of them here, right? Only one not, but the rest of them here. Go ahead and read. And my grandchildren here. Go ahead, my brother. What verse you at?
Towards the end of 11.
Pick it up again.
And she vowed a vow and said, O Lord of hosts, if thou wilt indeed look on the affliction of thine handmaid and remember me, and not forget thine handmaid, but will give unto thine handmaid a man-child, then I will give unto him unto the Lord all the days of his life, and there shall no razor come on his head. So now,
she made this kind of vow like she was going to do him like a Nazarene, and no razor come on his head, and probably he don't drink the blood of the grape. You done with that verse?
Yeah, that's it for 11.
Okay, we picking it up at 20?
20.
Verse 20, what did he say?
Wherefore it came to pass, when the time was come about, after Hannah had conceived, that she bare a son, and called his name Samuel, saying, because I have asked him of the Lord.
Because I have asked him of the Lord, so she called his name Samuel. Now, if you speak Hebrew, you can break it down for everybody, but I can't do that. So the Lord gave her what she asked for, but she besought the Lord probably with tears. It says she went to the Lord sore. Sore mean greatly. Like the other women should have did. Take it to the Lord. Your husband not in control of this. Y'all together are in the image of God. He's not God. Don't disturb my football game, woman. Go. You better go up in that closet and pray. Continue to read, brother.
And the man Elkanah of all his house went up to offer unto the Lord the yearly sacrifice and his vow. But Hannah went not up, for she said unto her husband, I will not go up until the child be weaned, and then I will bring him, that he may appear before the Lord, and there abide forever. And Elkanah her husband said unto her, do what seemeth thee good.
Do what you want to do, but, go ahead.
Tarry until thou have weaned him. Only the Lord establish his word.
Say, look, but if it's the Lord's will, you can leave him. I'm just saying, that's what you want to do, and I ain't really saying no, but if it's the Lord's will, I'm going to let it happen. Go ahead.
So the woman abode and gave her son suck until she weaned him.
Continue, read some more.
And when she had weaned him, she took him up with her, with 3 bullocks and run ephah of flour and a bottle of wine, and brought him unto the house of the Lord in Shiloh, and the child was young.
Mm-hmm.
And they slew a bullock and brought the child to Eli. And
so now she brought him to Eli because she going to leave him there. Go ahead and read.
And she said, O my Lord, as thy soul liveth, my Lord, I am the woman that stood by thee here praying unto the Lord. For this child I prayed, and the Lord hath given me my petition which I have asked of him. Therefore also I have lent them unto the Lord, as long as he liveth shall he be lent to the Lord. And he worshiped the Lord there. So
now she kept her word, and she took him there after he was weaned and brought him to Eli, and she confessed her vow to the Lord and said, here he is, he all yours now. And Eli took him. But that's good. Let's go in Genesis 31. 31, and we're going to pick it up at verse 1. Genesis 31 and verse 1. All right, go ahead, my brother.
And he heard the words of Laban's son, saying, Jacob hath taken away all that was our father's, and of that which was our father's hath he gotten all this glory.
So now this is Jacob's uncle, Laban, who he got his wives from, and he hearing the scheme. He said, by this time, I think it had been 21 years he worked, and the man kept cheating him out of his money, or however he got paid, and he heard the scheme between Laban and his sons about it. Go ahead and read.
And Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban, and behold, it was not toward him as before.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord said unto Jacob, Return unto the land of thy fathers and to thy kindred, and I will be with thee. And Jacob sent and called unto Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock, and said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that it is not toward me as before.
Yeah, he don't look at me the same no more. He used to be glad to see me. Now he hate to see me. See, I'm paying attention, because to be aware is to be alive. You heard?
Right.
Go ahead.
But the God of my father hath been with me, and ye know that with all my power I have served your father. And your father hath deceived me and hath changed my wages 10 times.
10 times this man cheated me out of my wages. Go ahead and read.
But God suffered him not to hurt me. If he said thus, the speckled shall be thy wages, then all the cattle bear speckled. And if he said thus, the ringstraight shall be thine hire, then bear all the cattle ringstraight.
Mm-hmm.
Thus God hath taken away the cattle of your father and given them to me.
So Jacob had great possessions because the Lord was working for Jacob, because Jacob was his servant. So he said, whatever deal y'all make, I'm going to make your side more abundant, because Laban had kept on cheating him. But the Lord was with Jacob. So he said, I'm gonna turn that cheating into a blessing for you. Come on.
And it came to pass that at the time the cattle conceived, that I lifted up my eyes and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped upon the cattle were ringstraight, speckled, and gristled.
Mm-hmm.
And the angel of God spake unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, Here am I. And he said, Lift up now thine eyes and see. All the rams which leap upon the cattle are ringstraight, speckled, and gristled. For I have seen all that Laban doeth unto thee. And I am the God of Bethel, where thou anointest the pillar, and where thou vowedest a vow unto me. Now arise and get thee out from this land, and return unto the land of thy kindred.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, Is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house?
Now look at what these women did. They with their husband, and he broke it down to them, and they saw it for themselves too. So that's why they answered him this way. Yeah, we seen what happened, and we just wanted to see what you was going to do. But go ahead and read.
Are we not counted of him strangers? For he hath sold us, and hath quite devoured also our money.
Mm-hmm.
For all the riches which God hath taken from our father, that is ours and our children's. Now then, whatsoever God hath said unto thee, do.
They said, look, if that's what the Lord told you to do, then do it. See, that's how it's supposed to go. They're not supposed to run back to their father, even though their father mistreated them. You know, a person run back to their parent anyway, no matter how bad their parent treated them. But they said, look, whatever the Lord told you to do, do it. We with you. Let's get it. Because, even though it's three of them, but, they share one mindset. That's how it's supposed to go. You done with that?
Yeah, that's ball game on that verse.
All right. Let's continue, though. You sure we done with that?
Yeah, said read the 16. That was 16. So
Okay.
that's it.
Let's go into 1 Corinthians, the 14th chapter. We might come back to Genesis one more again. I don't know. One more time. 1 Corinthians chapter 14. Okay. We're going to begin at, what are we beginning at?
It says verse 34.
34. Okay. 34 through 40.
Yep.
Let's get it.
Let your women keep silence in the churches.
See, I told y'all weren't going to like it. Anyway, go ahead and read.
For it is not permitted unto them to speak.
So now, a lot of people look at this and say, well, women can't say nothing. It said let the women keep silent in the church. That's the congregation. That's not a church is not a building. The church is a group of people with one mindset and one goal and one spirit.
Amen.
That's the church. So he said, let them keep silent in the church. Go ahead and read.
For it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded be under obedience, as also saith the law.
Go ahead.
And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home.
But now, if their husband don't know nothing, what they gonna do? They gotta ask questions, right? They gotta speak. So I'm saying, don't take this out of context. If he don't know anything, then you have to ask somebody that know. Come on.
For it is a shame for women to speak in the church.
Mm-hmm.
What? Came the word of God from out of you? Or came it unto you wholly? If any man thinketh himself to be a prophet or spiritual, let him acknowledge the things that I write unto you are the commandments of the Lord.
Go ahead.
But if any man be ignorant, let him be ignorant. Wherefore, brethren, covet to prophesy, and forbid not to speak with tongues. Let all things be done decently and in order.
So in order for it to be done decently and in order, everybody got to be dealing with the same mindset. Everybody got to be trying to acquire the mind of Christ. Everybody got to be trying to acquire the mind of God. So if that man don't know, go to somebody that do know. Okay? Let's continue. We done with that, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Acts the 5th chapter. So we're gonna look at a sister that didn't quite get it. She didn't quite get this. And then we're gonna look at a sister that did get it and see the drastic contrast of it. So Acts the 5th chapter. We'll begin reading at verse 1. Five and 1, we got Ananias and his wife Sapphira.
Oh, boy.
5 and 1, what do you say?
But a certain man named Ananias with Sapphira, his wife, sold a possession and kept back part of the price. His wife also being privy to it, and brought a certain part and laid it at the apostles' feet.
So his wife knew what was happening. She knew what was going on, and she didn't say, "Hey, man, don't do that. Don't do that." Somebody did that to me, and kind of cheated me out some money. But I heard his wife saying, "Hey, don't do that. Don't do that. That ain't cool." And she said it so I could hear it, so I could know that something ain't right. But I did it anyway. You know how it be. Go ahead and read.
But Peter said, Ananias, why hath Satan filled thy heart to lie to the Holy Ghost and to keep back part of the price of the land? Whiles it remained, was it not thine own?
Say, before you sold it and before you told us you was going to give us all the money, wasn't it yours? You could have just said, I'm going to sell it for, as much as I can and give you part of it. But no, you said, I'm going to sell it and I'm going to give all the money to the church because you wanted to look like a big shot.
Ooh.
Go ahead.
And after it was sold, was it not in thine own power? Why hast thou conceived this thing in thine heart? Thou hast not lied unto men, but unto God.
So you lied unto God because you think you lying to me, but I ain't the one that you got to be honest with.
No, sir.
You got to be honest with the Lord because then if you're honest with the Lord, then I ain't worried about you being honest with me because you're going to do that. But you be right with God first. Go ahead and read.
And Ananias, hearing these words, fell down and gave up the ghost.
That means he gave up the breath of life. That means he died then, right? So now he a dead soul. Go ahead and read.
And great fear came on all them that heard these things.
So he died immediately, right? For that deception. Even though it, maybe it wasn't a bald-faced lie, but it was great deception. Why did you didn't have to do that, man? And he just died for some foolishness. For some foolishness. So of course his wife not gonna take part in that foolishness, right? Let's see. Go ahead and read.
And the young men arose and wound him up and carried him out and buried him. And it was about the space of 3 hours after when his wife, not knowing what was done, came in. And Peter answered unto her, Tell me whether you sold the land for so much.
So did you sell it for this much? Is this how much you guys got for it? Because remember, she was privy to what her husband was doing. And what'd she do?
And she said, Yea, for so much.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we got for it. Go ahead.
And then Peter said unto her, How is it that ye have agreed together to tempt the Spirit of the Lord?
So how did you take part in somebody else's sin? Like, don't you know you're not supposed to take part in somebody else's sins? Don't you know that? But yet you did it anyway. Come on.
Behold, the feet of them which have buried thy husband are at the door, and shall carry thee out. And then she fell down straightway at his feet and yielded up the ghost. And the young men came in and found her dead, and carrying her forth, buried her by her husband. So
maybe she should have asked some questions in the church. Maybe she should have said, hey, look, my husband doing this kind of thing. I shouldn't agree with this now, should I? But she knew better. You can't do that kind of stuff. But see, this is the contrast in it. Let's go. This was Acts the 5th chapter, right?
We got to read verse 11.
Oh, go ahead and read.
And great fear came upon all the church, and upon as many as heard all these things.
So they buried her too, next to her husband, right? But let's look at somebody that, a woman that didn't do the fool. Let's go into, where we going?
1 Samuel.
1 Samuel?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 1 Samuel 20, what is it? 25?
Yep, 25.
1 Samuel 25. This is David before he became king. And I know y'all heard of Nabal and Abigail, right? Yeah, let's see if she thought the same way that Sapphira thought. 25 and what verse?
Verse 1.
25 and 1. Thank you. All right, go ahead and read, brother.
And Samuel died, and all the Israelites were gathered together and lamented him and buried him in his house at Ramah. And David arose and went down to the wilderness of Paran. And there was a man in Maon whose possessions were in Carmel, and the man was very great. And he had 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats, and he was shearing his sheep in Carmel. Now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife Abigail.
Go ahead.
She was a woman of good understanding and of a beautiful countenance.
So she was a woman of good understanding. See, Ananias' wife, she wasn't a woman of good understanding. She took part in somebody else's sins, even though it was her husband. That don't mean you ride with him through whatever he do.
No.
But continue to read.
But the man was churlish and evil in his doings, and he was of the house of Caleb.
So he was of the house of Caleb. That means he was the seed of Caleb. So if you read about Caleb was one of the ones, he was with Joshua when they spied out the land and stuff. But he was that same way, like a little ornery guy, just really with a nasty disposition. But where we at?
Verse 4.
Go ahead.
And David heard in the wilderness that Nabal did shear his sheep. And David sent out 10 young men. And David said unto the young men, Get you up to Carmel, and go to Nabal, and greet him in my name. And thus ye shall say to him that liveth in prosperity, Peace be both to thee, and peace be to thine house, and peace be unto all that thou hast.
So now, he went up. He gonna send his men up there to talk to Nabal and say, you know, can we get some food? Because this is during the time that David was trying to keep from killing Saul. He wasn't really scared of Saul. He just was trying to keep from killing him. So he was running. So they out there and they hungry. So let's see if this man will help us out. We done protected his sheep and we protected his servants. Let's see if he gonna give us something for this, right? So now he didn't want to do it though. But anyway, we skip it down. What we skip it down to?
Verse 9.
Verse 9. I got to find my place here. Verse 9. Skipping to verse 9. Go ahead and read.
And when David's young men came, they spake to Nabal according to all those words in the name of David, and ceased. And Nabal answered David's servants and said, who is David? And who is the son of Jesse? That there may be...
So he knew who David was, because he said, who is he and who is the son of Jesse? Like, I don't care nothing about y'all family, man. Go ahead.
That there may be servants nowadays that break away from every man from his master.
Say, look, you just yanked away from your master. You a Yankee, so why should I respect you? Go ahead and read.
Shall I then take my bread and my water and my flesh that I have killed for my shearers and give it unto men whom I know not whence they be?
He apparently didn't know the news that David was a straight-up killer. So he apparently didn't understand that. The song was, Saul killed his thousands and David killed his tens of thousands. So maybe you should have thought about that a little bit. Go ahead and read.
So David's young men turned their way and went again and came and told him all those sayings.
So they had even argument. They said, okay, all right, buddy. We hear you. We're going to deliver that message for you. Go ahead.
And David said unto his men, gird ye on every man his sword. And they girded on every man his sword. And David also girded on his sword. And there went up after David about 400 men, and 200 abode by the stuff. But one of the young men told Abigail, Nabal's wife, saying, behold, David sent messengers out of the wilderness to salute our master.
So he knew not to go to Nabal. He said, let me go to his wife. She an understanding woman. Let me go talk to her, because this man knows what's about to happen. Every male is going to die, whether it's Nabal's sons or his servants. Every male is going to die. So he said, no, let me go talk to my master's wife. Let me go talk to her, because she know what to do. Go ahead.
Behold, David sent messengers out of the wilderness to salute our master, and he railed on them. But the men were very good unto us, and we were not hurt, neither missed we anything, as long as we were conversant with them when we were in their fields. And they were a wall unto us both by night and day, all the while we were with them keeping the sheep.
So they protected this man's goods, his cattle, and his servants. They protected him. So a little food wouldn't have hurt. You got all this stuff, man. You got 3,000 this and 4,000 that, and you can't feed a couple guys. Go ahead. What verse?
17. Now therefore know and consider what thou wilt do, for evil is determined against our master and against all his household, for he is such a son of Belial that a man cannot speak to him.
So we can't reason with this man. He is such a son of Belial that you can't speak no truth with this man. Go ahead and read, though, brother.
Then Abigail made haste and took 200 loaves and 2 bottles of wine and 5 sheep ready dressed and 5 measures of parched corn and 100 clusters of raisins and 200 cakes of figs, and laid them on asses. And she said unto her servants, go on before me. Behold, I come after you. But she told not her husband Nabal.
Because he would have tried to stop her, and they all would have died. So she said, nah, we ain't doing that. We ain't dying today. Go ahead.
And it was so, as she rode on the ass and came down by the covert of the hill, and behold, David and his men came down against her, and she met them. Now David had said, surely in vain have I kept all that this fellow hath in the wilderness.
See, I did all this for nothing. I protected this man for nothing. I did this in vain. But go ahead.
So that nothing was missed of all that pertained unto him, and he hath requited of me evil for good. So and more also do God unto the enemies of David, that if I leave all of that pertain to him by the morning light, and any that pisseth against the wall.
Y'all know what that means? That means any male, it's like pisses against the wall, right? But women don't do that. So he's talking about all the males. He said, I'm going to kill all of them. Whether they his children or his servants, I'm killing them all. Come on.
And when Abigail saw David, she hasted and lighted off the ass and fell before David on her face and bowed herself to the ground. And fell at his feet and said, Upon me, my lord, upon me let this iniquity be, and let thine handmaid, I pray thee, speak in thine audience and hear the words of thine handmaid.
But mind you, she sent all the stuff in front of her so he could see all this stuff before he saw her. So he ain't got no question about her intentions. She sent all that stuff ahead of her. So now he run across her because he see the stuff, but he's still like, nah, I'm killing them anyway. So she, understanding that, let me go talk to this man. But go ahead and read.
Let not, my lord, I pray thee, regard this man of Belial, even Nabal, for as his name is, so is he. Nabal is his name, and folly is with him. But I, thine handmaid, saw not the young men of my lord, whom thou didst send.
So I didn't see them, so it would have been a different story if I had saw them, right? So she sent all this stuff, and she went on back home, right? Go ahead and skip down to verse 32.
I got a slide a page on 32. And David said unto Abigail, Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, which sent thee this day to meet me. And blessed be thy advice, and blessed be thou, which hast kept me this day from coming to shed blood and from avenging myself with mine own hand.
He said, praise God that he didn't allow me to go down there and kill this man with my own hands, because that might not have been all the way right. So the Lord delivered me and delivered you too. Because the Lord, he does things like that he do something, you think he doing one thing, but he doing a whole lot of things at one time. He working with a whole lot of people at one time. So not only did he save Nabal's house and servants and everything, but he saved David too from committing an atrocity. Because David was extremely angry, and David was a valiant man, and if he said he gonna kill you, he gonna kill you. But go ahead and read.
For in the very deed, as the Lord God of Israel liveth, which hath kept me back from hurting thee, except that thou hast hasted to come and meet me, surely there had not been left unto Nabal by the morning light any that pisseth against the wall.
That includes the servants.
All day.
So he said, the Lord has delivered both of us in this instance. Delivered me from committing an atrocity and delivered y'all from my hands. So life has been preserved, you know. Sometimes it got to be that way. You done with that?
Nah, not quite. We got to finish the 39.
Yeah.
So David received of her hand that which she had brought him, and said unto her, Go up in peace to thine house. See, I have hearkened to thy voice, and have accepted thy person. And Abigail came to Nabal, and behold, he held a feast in his house, like the feast of a king.
Because he didn't have no clue of what was going on. He was so oblivious. He didn't know that he was about to die. Because he's such a churlish man, and so ornery and so evil that he didn't even understand that death was coming for him.
Oh yeah.
So he in that party, and she probably looked at him like, you such an idiot, like
imbecile.
But check it out. She didn't leave him or divorce him, nothing like that, did she?
Nope.
But she just found a way to get the right thing done. Go ahead and read, brother.
And Nabal's heart was merry within him, for he was very drunken. Wherefore she told him nothing, less or more, until the morning light.
Go ahead.
But it came to pass in the morning, when the wine was gone out of Nabal, and his wife had told him these things, that his heart died within him, and he became as a stone.
So he had probably a stroke. That's probably more than just a heart attack, but he probably had a stroke. Because now he's sitting there looking like a zombie now. Like, what? I was finna die? But go ahead and read.
And it came to pass about 10 days after that the Lord smote Nabal that he died.
So, being foolish like that, there's no reward in it. It might be some quick gratification, but in the long run, you're going to suffer. But
Suffer.
this woman, she didn't live like her husband. She said, no, we got to preserve life. Like, we got to do the right thing. And plus, this man is getting ready to be the king anyway. We know what's happening. How are we going to disrespect him? Let's give him the honor that he is due and stay alive at the same time. But that's a vast contrast between Sapphira and Abigail. What you shouldn't have done and what you should do. Or just like with Hananiah and with Sarah and Jacob's wife, Rachel, instead of going to the Lord like Hannah did, they're going to get their husbands another woman. And with that come some more problems. So we're done with that, right?
We got to read 39.
Oh, continue to read.
And when David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, Blessed be the Lord that hath pleaded the cause of my reproach from the hand of Nabal, and hath kept his servant from evil. For the Lord hath returned the wickedness of Nabal upon his own head.
So go ahead.
And David sent and communed with Abigail to take her to him to wife.
So now she became the wife of the king. So what that make her?
Queen.
The queen, right? So she went from idiot to queen, from being married to an idiot to being married to the king, right?
Yes, sir.
So, but that's because she was patient, right? First of all, she was patient, and then she still served God, though. She wasn't going to let that man turn her from serving her God, because a lot of times that could happen. So you have to be patient. If the man is surly and all that, then you know what? So be it. You do your thing. I'm going to serve God. You can run it down the stairs and across the wall, and whatever you're going to do, I'm serving God. So if you're done with that or not, we're moving on.
That's finished.
Let's go into Exodus, the 4th chapter, Exodus chapter 4. I like when my readers keep me in the right place. Exodus chapter 4. So Moses was on his way back because, he had to leave because he killed that Egyptian, right?
Yeah.
You can call it killing, I guess, but it was premeditated something. It wasn't nothing that happened in the heat of battle. No, he planned that out. Anyway, he on his way back, and he had married, what's the guy's, Jethro?
Yep.
Jethro's daughters. The Midianite, still Abraham's seed.
All day.
And they on their way back to Egypt now. So Exodus, the 4th chapter, in verse, was it 19?
Yep, 19.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Moses in Midian, Go, return into Egypt, for all the men are dead which sought thy life.
Mm-hmm.
And Moses took his wife and his sons and set them upon an ass, and he returned to the land of Egypt. And Moses took the rod of God in his hand. And the Lord said unto Moses, When thou goest to return into Egypt, see that thou do all these wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in thy hand, but I will harden his heart that he shall not let the people go.
So now the Lord gave Moses a great job to do, right? So surely the Lord is not going to stop him from doing it because the Lord is the one that gave him the job to do, right? Mm-hmm. So Moses forgot to do something. Mm-hmm. We're going to skip down to verse 24 and see what happened.
And it came to pass by the way in the end that the Lord met him and sought to kill him. So
even though the Lord gave him this great job to do, the Lord was going to kill him and probably get somebody else to do it because that's how the Lord operates. Everybody's replaceable. And anybody can get it, right? So he was going to kill Moses for this one thing that we think is a small thing. Go ahead and read.
And then Zipporah took a sharp stone and cut off the foreskin of her son and cast it at his feet and said, Surely a bloody husband art thou to me.
Because he was supposed to be circumcised the 8th day. But Moses forgot all about that because, you know, he dealing with the Lord and all his glory and everything, and he forgot that you still got to take care of your house, man.
Right.
You can't take care of the house of the Lord and not take care of your own house. Huh? It don't work that way. Take care of your house and then take care of the house of the Lord. So the Lord was going to kill him, even though he gave him this great job to do. He was going to kill him, and he probably already had his eye on Joshua. You know, Joshua might have been a little militant, but he still had his eye on him. So his wife said, look, the Lord about to kill this man, and then what am I going to do? So she circumcised the boy herself. Said, you bloody, you about to get all us killed, man. Look at you. Pay attention. Come on.
So he let him go. Then she said, a bloody husband thou art because of the circumcision.
So regardless of what her husband did, she took care of the business, right?
She did.
Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you have to be mindful enough to, you know, be willing to suffer whatever you got to suffer to take care of that business that the Lord is giving you to do. Let's go into the Judges. Judges, the 4th chapter. Did y'all turn my mic up or something, man? I don't even want to bend over. That leg work got something else. Trying to recover from that. No, you don't. Where I say go?
Judges chapter 4.
Judges chapter 4. Okay. And we're going to begin. Them legs hurt. Judges chapter 4. We're going to begin reading at verse 1 through 9. They close enough. Judges chapter 4, verse 1. What do you say?
And the children of Israel did again evil in the sight of the Lord when Ehud was dead.
Mm-hmm. Ehud was one of the judges. So they would turn right back to evil. They did every time one of the judges died, they went back to doing evil, and the Lord put them back in captivity. Mm-hmm. But go ahead and read, brother.
And the Lord sold them into the hand of Jabin, the king of Canaan, that reigned in Hazor, the captain of whose host was Sisera, which dwelt in Harosheth of the Gentiles. Mm-hmm. And the children of Israel cried unto the Lord, for he had 900 chariots of iron. And 20 years he mightily oppressed the children of Israel.
For 20 whole years he oppressed them. And he had a strong army too. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. And Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lapidoth, she judged Israel at that time.
So now Deborah, she was a judge at that time because it wasn't a man strong enough to do it. So the Lord had a woman do it. Food for thought. Go ahead and read.
And she dwelt under the palm tree of Deborah between Ramah and Bethel and Mount Ephraim. And the children of Israel came up to her for judgment.
Go ahead and read.
And she sent and called Barak, the son of Abinoam, out of Kadesh Naphtali, and said unto him, hath not the Lord God of Israel commanded, saying, go and draw toward Mount Tabor, and take with thee 10,000 men of the children of Naphtali and the children of Zebulun, and I will draw unto thee unto the river Kishon, Sisera, captain of Jabin's army, with his chariots and his multitude, and I will deliver him into thine hand.
See, this is what the Lord said. Now go do it. So she calling the shots. She telling the army, this is what the Lord wants y'all to do. Now y'all go over here and do it. Come on.
And Barak said unto her, if thou wilt go with me, then I will go. But if thou wilt not go with me, then I will not go.
Did this man did he just? No, he didn't.
He did.
Read that again, because my ears got to be deceiving me.
Verse 8. And Barak said unto her, if thou wilt go with me, then I will go. But if thou wilt not go with me, then I will not go.
So these cats was not even. Anyway, continue to read.
Oh.
I can't even do it. Where we at?
Verse 9.
Go ahead.
It's all right. And she said, I will surely go with thee, notwithstanding the journey that thou takest shall not be for thine honor.
Said, look, I'm going to go with you, but just know when it's all over with, you're not getting no honor for this. I'm going to get the honor. Do you really want that? That a woman get the honor? But he said, if you ain't going, I ain't going. Go ahead and read.
For the Lord shall sell Sisera into the hand of a woman. And Deborah arose and went with Barak to Kadesh.
So she went, and the Lord delivered them into her hands. Verse 14, go ahead and read.
And Deborah said unto Barak, Up, for this is the day in which the Lord hath delivered Sisera into thine hand. Is not the Lord gone out before thee? So Barak went down from Mount Tabor, and 10,000 men after him. And the Lord discomfited Sisera and all his chariots and all his hosts with the edge of the sword before Barak, so that Sisera lighted down off his chariot and fled away on his feet. But Barak pursued after the chariots and after the hosts unto Harosheth of the Gentiles, and all the hosts of Sisera fell upon the edge of the sword, and there was not a man left.
See, it wasn't, this is a holy war. It wasn't a man left. That's how it go. Go ahead and read.
And howbeit Sisera fled away on his feet to the tent of Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite, for there was peace between Jabin the king of Hazor and the house of Heber the Kenite. And Jael went out to meet Sisera and said unto him, Turn in, my lord, turn in to me, fear not. And when he had turned in unto her into the tent, she covered him with a mantle. And he said unto her, Give me, I pray thee, a little water to drink, for I am thirsty. And she opened a bottle of milk and gave him to drink and covered him.
So now she gave him some milk instead of some water. So he should have known from where I'm from, when something like that happened, like, wait a minute, this is not what I asked you for. But, he wasn't thinking. Go ahead and read.
Again he said unto her, Stand in the door of the tent, and it shall be, when any man doeth come and inquire of thee, and say, Is there any man here? Thou shalt say, No. Then Jael, Heber's wife, took a nail of the tent and took a hammer in her hand and went softly unto him.
So you know what a nail of the tent is, right? It's a stake. So this wasn't a little bitty
Tent
nail.
peg.
This is how you kill a vampire, right? Now, instead of giving him some water, she gave him some milk. And she pretended like she was protecting him, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, though.
And went softly unto him and smote the nail into his temples and fastened it into the ground.
Whoa. Nailed this man's head into the ground.
Fatality.
Go ahead, brother.
For he was fast asleep and weary, so he died.
That was it.
Nah, we got to read verse 22.
Yeah, keep on. Go ahead and read. We're going to be all right.
And behold, as Barak pursued Sisera, Jael came out to meet him and said unto him, Come, and I will show thee the man whom thou seekest. And when he came into her tent, behold, Sisera lay dead, and the nail was in his temples.
Because she said, they not coming to kill me. I'm going to give me a little insurance. I'm going to kill you so that they don't kill me. Like, that's not going to happen, because we know this is the army of the living God. Can't nobody stop them if they serving their God. And it was always that way. As long as Israel was serving God, couldn't no army beat them, whether it was 10 times bigger than theirs or not. They couldn't do nothing with them, because the Lord was with them. He went before them, and he discomfited everybody before Israel got there. They was discombobulated and confused by the time the Israelites got there, so they weren't really able to protect themselves. But the Lord wanted them all dead anyway. But you done with that?
That's it.
That's it? All right. Let's pursue it a little further. Let's go into 1 Peter, the 3rd chapter. But as I said, we probably not going to get all these scriptures in, so if y'all got a copy of it, that's cool. Make your little notes and everything. Hopefully. First Peter, the 3rd chapter. Pick it up at the 1. 1 Peter 3:1. What do you say?
Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they may also without the word be won by the conversation of the wise.
So if you got a husband that's not walking after God, you continue to walk after God, and he see your service, he may just change up, or he may just, let it be easy for you, leave you alone, don't give you no problems. But he may be won by your conversation. If your conversation is still within the realms of the laws of God, he might be won by that. If you serving God and you speaking His word, that might convert that man. Come on and read.
While they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear, whose adorning let it not be that outward adorning of the plaiting of the hair and of the wearing of gold or of the putting on of apparel, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, that in that which is not corruptible.
So he's saying, he's not saying that you can't, because my mother came to me with this, because her and my father got into it. Is it saying that we can't wear jewelry? I said, no, it's not saying you can't wear jewelry. It's saying don't let that be your mindset.
Amen.
Don't let material things be your mindset.
Amen.
But have that spiritual mind. That don't mean you can't dress nice, look nice, present yourself well, because when you come to the Lord, you're supposed to present yourself well in the first place. So it's not that. He's just saying, don't let this be your pursuit, because these material things don't pertain to life, don't get you life. So let it be let your adornment, let your apparel be that inward man, that spiritual man. Wear that. But go ahead and read.
But even though the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of God of great price.
It's of a great price, a meek and quiet spirit. And we just lost somebody like that had this meek and quiet spirit. And that's of a great price with the Lord.
Yes.
That's very valuable.
Yes.
If we could be that way. If we could do that. But go ahead and read, brother.
For after this manner, in the old time, the holy women also, who trusted in God, adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are, as long as ye do well and are not afraid with any amazement.
With any amazement. Don't let all the troubles and all the, the riches that everybody else have amaze you at all. But be steadfast in serving your God. Come on and read.
Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge.
So you got to dwell with your wife according to knowledge. Because if the woman got to be silent in the church and she got to ask her husband at home, that means you got to have some knowledge.
That's right.
And if you ain't got no knowledge, then she got to go to another brother that got some. So get you some knowledge and some understanding so that you might be wise. Come on.
As unto
Actually, give me that again because the brothers didn't hear it.
All right, I will. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife.
Doing what?
Giving honor unto the wife.
Man, I ain't going to honor that woman. She just a female.
Man, that's your job.
That's your rib. That's your rib right there, though. Read that again because the brothers didn't hear it.
Gladly. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel.
Come on.
And as being heirs together.
As being what?
Heirs together.
So you can't get into the kingdom by yourself?
Nuh-uh.
It's two? Is it two in the Godhead?
All day.
So heirs together?
Heirs together.
Let's go.
Of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered.
Oh, so you don't want your prayers hindered?
I don't.
You better give that woman some respect. You better put some respect on her name.
You better.
Huh? Because her name is your name.
Amen.
You going to disrespect yourself?
Nope.
Don't disrespect her then.
Amen.
I'm just saying. Where we at?
Verse 8.
Verse 8, let's go.
Finally, be ye all of one mind, having compassion one of another, love as brethren, be pitiful, be courteous, Not rendering evil for evil.
Not rendering evil for evil.
Nope.
Well, he said that to me, so I'm going to say this to him. Or,
No.
you know what? He can just cook himself something tonight then. You know? Or, well, you know, just go ahead and read.
Or railing for raring, but contrariwise blessing, knowing that ye are thereunto called, that ye should inherit a blessing. For he that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil and his lips that they speak no guile.
So let him refrain his lips from evil. That means her too, and that your lips speak no deception. Y'all got to live honestly with one another. Go ahead.
For the eyes of the, let him eschew evil and do good.
So that means to reject evil and do good. Come on.
Let me start at verse 10. For he that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil and his lips that they speak no guile. Let him eschew evil and do good, and let him seek peace and ensue it. For the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous.
The eyes of the Lord are over the righteous. Come on.
Over the righteous. And his ears are open unto their prayers.
And his ears are open unto their prayers. But it's the righteous that he's listening to.
Amen.
I did a lesson a few weeks ago called The Prayer of the Righteous. And the Lord inclines his ear to hear your prayers. But you can't be pretending. See,
Nope.
you can pretend with us, but you can't pretend with God.
No.
See? So it don't matter what you look like to us. The Lord is looking inside of here. What's in there? And if you think he can't read it, he the one that put it together. I bet you don't know how to put one together. But the Lord do. When Job was doing all the complaining, the Lord said, wait a minute, buddy, where was you when I fasted the earth? Do you know where it's fasting at? See, that's how I know when I was a kid, they showed us these in our school books. They showed the earth, you know, and all this different layers, and then they showed the core and everything. I said, wait a minute. How you know what the core of the earth look like? Like, so I just looked at them as like, you know, comic books. I put them in the stack of the comic books. What I'm reading that for? I'd rather read the comic books. At least I know it's fake, you know. Anyway, I mean fiction. That's a more politically correct way to say it, right? I know it's fiction, which means fictitious, which means fake, right? What verse?
Middle of 12.
Come again.
Start it over.
Yep.
For the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers. But the face of the Lord is against them that do evil.
Wow. It's against them that do evil.
It is.
Say the face of the Lord is against. So that means he's looking at your evil. Say the face of the Lord are against them that do evil. Ecclesiastes, the 9th chapter. Ecclesiastes chapter 9. Pick it up at verse 7. All right, they got it. Go ahead and read.
Go thy way, eat thy bread with joy, and drink thy wine with a merry heart. For God now accepteth thy works.
So now God now accepted your work. So apparently he's telling us you've done a good job. You ready to go and sleep with your father. So the Lord has accepted your works. Go ahead and read.
Let thy garments be always white, and let thy head lack no ointment.
Go ahead.
Live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest.
Say live joyfully with your wife.
Joyfully.
Whom you're supposed to love. Hopefully you do. Go ahead and read. Start that over.
Live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest all the days of the life of thy vanity, which he hath given thee under the sun, and all the days of thy vanity, for that is thy portion in this life.
So that's your portion in this life. That's all you get. He's not going to take another rib. That's all you get. Because if you keep on taking ribs, you're going to be bent over, aren't you? Mm-hmm. So all you get is that rib. That's your portion in this life. Because in the next one, there's no husbands and wives. Well, there is, but I mean, not between. We're going to be married to the Lord. That's how that's going to go. We're going to call him husband. Go ahead.
And in thy labor which thou takest under the sun, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with all thy might.
Say with all your might. Go ahead.
For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest.
Say, look, take care of what you got to take care of here, because when you go to sleep, there ain't no knowledge there. There ain't no wisdom there. There ain't no repentance there. There ain't no work to be done there. You sleep. And you got to wait till your change comes. So he said, while you alive, live joyfully with your wife. Because that's all you get. But that was Ecclesiastes 9.
Yeah, that was
all right,
it.
Colossians 3. Colossians 3.
Okay.
Y'all still with me? How many people upset?
Not me.
They had, and I know it's some out there they had. Colossians the 3rd chapter. We're going to read verses 18 and 19.
All right.
Did I skip over something? Yeah. Ephesians. Why y'all didn't say that at first? Say it loud. But I also said, if the man don't got the knowledge, you got to say something. They was just gonna let me go like, well, he gonna fall down the stairs. I ain't gonna say nothing. He a man.
All right, Ephesians 5.
Ephesians 5.
Yeah.
These people, man, they trying to kill me.
I won't let them, great brother.
Thank you, my brother.
I won't let them.
Ephesians the 5th chapter. What verse we starting at?
1.
No, I'm asking her. She know everything. In verse 1, Ephesians 5 and 1. Go ahead.
Be ye therefore followers of God as dear children, and walk in love as Christ also hath loved us, and hath given himself for us an offering and a sacrifice to God for a sweet smelling savor.
So he said we got to walk with God, and we got to be like-minded, right? Go ahead and read.
But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not once be named among you as becometh saints.
As becometh saints, because the saints don't do those kind of things. Because if you're doing those kind of things, you are not a saint. You know what saint means? They use it so much these days, they don't even know what it means. It means those that are sanctified.
Oh, yeah.
That's what a saint is. Sanctified from the commonplace of this world. The common things that they do, like going to pride parades.
Ooh.
Because the Lord hate the proud.
No.
He hate that. You proud of your wickedness? In one place he said he hate their ways. In another place he said he hate the wicked. So his face going to be against you. But go ahead, continue to read, my brother.
Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks. For this ye know, that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man,
Go ahead.
who is an idolater,
Because all of it is idolatry when you're committing sin. Come
all
on.
day, hath any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of God.
So if the covetous man and the whoremonger don't have no inheritance in the kingdom of God, what part do the homosexual got in the kingdom of God?
None.
None. Not even a mention. Can't even come close. But they proud. They're going to proudly go in that lake of fire. Satan going to be looking at them like, I was waiting on y'all. I knew y'all was going to be here because y'all proud. Anyway, where we at?
Verse 6.
Verse 6, come on.
Let no man deceive you with vain words, for because of those things cometh the wrath of God upon the children of disobedience.
That's because of those vain words. And if you're deceived by those vain words, let's take Eve, for instance. The book says she was beguiled, right? But she said to Satan, we're not supposed to be talking to you or touching you. And he said, girl, you know God just lying. But she knew the truth. How much did he deceive her? Or how much was she drawn away with her own lust and enticed? Enticed. Come on.
We got to skip.
We're skipping down?
Yeah.
Okay, skip down then.
Verse 25.
Verse 25, that's what we're skipping down to.
Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church.
You want to go back and read the beginning of this? It said, love your wives as Christ loved the church. Y'all know what that means? We read in the beginning of this chapter that he gave his life for the church. So husbands, why y'all so quiet? Oh, okay, I feel it. They gonna feel it too. Husbands, go ahead and start that over.
Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it.
Go ahead.
So we're skipping down again.
Now read a little bit more.
All right, I'll read further. That he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of the water by the word.
Now we're skipping down.
Okay.
What we skipping down to?
28.
28, go ahead.
So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies.
As their own bodies.
He that loveth his wife loveth himself.
So you gonna cuss yourself out?
No.
I do, but that's just what I do. I don't really like myself, so you know. But you gonna slap yourself down some stairs? Nope. So you can't do it to her. You know? You gonna starve yourself? You can't starve her. You gonna buy you some 40s? She can't wear them. But you can buy her some red bottoms, I guess. You know, treat her like you treat yourself, because we already read that y'all got to walk into the house of God and come. Y'all heirs together of this salvation. And real talk, y'all was equal in the beginning.
Amen.
And still equal. It's just that the Lord set it up like the Godhead is set up now. So Jesus, when he conquered this world and reigned for 1,000 years, he gonna give the whole thing over to the Father. And he gonna be a servant himself with the equal power to God. Even though he is a servant, he got equal power. Y'all understanding this? This too deep for y'all? Okay, because I heard that y'all say I be doing some hard lessons, but this is a milk lesson right here though. And it's hard for me not to throw no meat in it, but you know I got to throw some meat in there somewhere. But these things we got to understand, and maybe we'll do a little bit better in our service. But go ahead and read, brother.
For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but he nourisheth and cherisheth it, even as the Lord the church.
So he take care of his own flesh, right? He nourish it. He take care of it just like the Lord loved the church. Go ahead.
For we are members of his body, and of his flesh, and of his bones. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh.
So this is like the third time we read that?
Third time.
So now, if we read this 3 times over the entire book, that must mean that this is how we got to live. We got to be one mind, one flesh. You know, like even for people that's not a part of the covenants of God, this is how they living. One, you have a guy that's over a cartel, and his wife is right there with him. And if he fall, she gonna make sure that everything go right. Same thing with us. We got to stand together. What verse you at?
Verse 32.
We skipping down. Okay. Well, we supposed to be skipping down, but go ahead and read.
This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church. Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife, even as himself, and the wife see that she reverence her husband.
So now, that's a two-edged sword right there. You got to love your wife. That means you got to put your life on the line for her in many ways. And wives, if your husband doing that, then you got to give him his honor, his respect. Do the things that you're supposed to do. Because these days, apparently, they think they ain't got to do nothing but get everything.
Oh, Lord.
And then tell the man, well, you sassy. Every man don't know what that means. What she's saying to him when she say that, I do. Because I'm from the streets. I know what it means when a female tell a man that. I know what that means. Or they tell them they spicy. Now you're trying to get hurt.
Oh, Lord.
So every guy don't really know what that means. They take it for face value, but I know exactly what those terms mean. And that they could get, if you're talking to a man that's not a man of God, he understands that he might do something to you. So be careful, sisters. Don't just say it to people.
Please don't.
Don't do it. Where we at?
That's the end of that one.
That's the end of that?
Yep.
Okay, so we going into Colossians, right?
Yep.
Colossians, the 3rd chapter.
3rd chapter.
We can begin at verse 1. Did I skip something? I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. Colossians 3:1. Go ahead and read.
3:1.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If ye be then risen with Christ, seek those things which are above, where Christ sitteth on the right hand of God. Set your affection on things above, not on things of the earth. For ye are dead, and your life is hid with Christ in God. Something wrong?
Yeah, something is wrong. I said verse 1.
Yeah, you said verse 1.
And it's verse 18. Like I said earlier, verse 18 and 19. Go ahead, verse 18, man.
Verse 18.
But hey, I mean, it wasn't bad that we read that, though. Right? Verse 18, go ahead.
Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands.
To your own husbands, not nobody else's husband.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead and read.
As it is fit in the Lord.
As it is fit in the Lord. This is right in the eyes of the Lord, right? Go ahead and read.
All day. Husbands, love your wives, and be not bitter against them.
And be not bitter against them. Because, you got to go to work, and she worked from home, but you out there chopping down trees. She's still working. Huh? That was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Where we going now? 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter.
Yup.
1 Corinthians chapter 7. I think I'm going to cut some of these out. Hey, y'all got the paper. You're right. Y'all ain't got nothing else to do. Chapter 7. And we're going to begin reading at verse 3. 1 Corinthians 7 and verse 3. What do you say?
Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence.
Due benevolence, that means due respect. That means what's hers, give it to her. Right? Go ahead.
And likewise also the wife unto the husband.
Give him what belongs to him. Because now y'all one flesh, right? Y'all one mind. And y'all in debt one to another. Because y'all don't belong to yourself no more. Go ahead and read.
The wife hath not power of her own body, and but the husband, and likewise also the husband hath not power of his own body, but the wife.
Now that's a hard thing right there, because when you work them double shifts, and she like, why you crying? Like, come on. Anyway.
I'm crying.
Go ahead and read.
Defraud ye not one the other.
Defraud ye not one the other. Go ahead.
Except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer. And
so before you go to fasting, you got to check it out with your spouse. Make sure it's all good, because fasting is more than just not drinking and not eating. It's abstaining from all pleasure. That includes vain conversation. So that means you can't even talk to her. So you men probably should fast a little bit more. Especially do anyway. See how none of the men caught that. That's messed up. I'm trying to help y'all. Go ahead and read, brother.
And come together again, that Satan tempts you not for your inconsistency.
For your inconsistency.
Incontinency.
So that Satan don't tempt you, because, you know, if ain't nothing happening, you get to look in other places.
Right.
So he said, look, after that fasting and all that, come right back together. So it won't be no problems. So I don't have to hurt nobody, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead and read.
We got to skip down.
We skipping down?
Yeah.
We skipping down to verse 10.
And unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord, let not the wife depart from her husband.
Mm-hmm.
But, and if she depart, let her remain unmarried or be reconciled to her husband.
Or be reconciled to her husband. Let her remain unmarried. Because if she marries somebody else, it's a wrap. But go ahead.
And let not the husband put away his wife.
Mm-hmm.
But to the rest speak I, not the Lord. If any brother hath a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away.
So you can't put her away just because she don't believe in the same God you believe in. She might change. Look what Ruth did after her husband died. She went and connected herself to the God of her husband and went to his people. Yeah, go ahead and read.
And the woman which hath an husband that believeth not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him.
Right. Because, like we read earlier, he could be won by your conversation and your service. How you serving your God, and how you still being his wife but serving your God. He might say, wait, let me go check this God out. It's a brother, his wife passed now, but y'all know Brother Thin, right? He come up here to teach sometimes. His brother. Now, his wife was coming to class and she wasn't changing. She was steadfast. So he said, let me come and see what this woman doing. And he ain't going nowhere. And that was about, y'all know my daughter, she was a newborn baby back then. So that a long time ago. Long time ago. He's still there. And then he brought his brother in. Now his brother wanted to teach in the class now. You know?
Praise the
It could
Lord.
be that way, though. It could be that way. It happens a lot, you know? But where we at?
For 14.
Mm-hmm.
For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife,
Go ahead.
and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else were your children unclean, but now they are holy. But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. A brother or sister is not under bondage in such cases, but God hath called us to peace.
He said the brothers and sisters are not in the bondage in such cases, but remember he said that's his word, not God's. But that's a reasonable thing. If they leave, we don't know where they gone. You got to give them some time. You can't just go somewhere else. You got to give it some time, though. You know, 6 months, a year, they ain't come back. Well, they probably did. We don't know. But we going to act like they are because they gone, right? Go ahead.
For what knowest thou, O wife, whether thou shalt save thy husband? How knowest thou, man, whether thou shalt save thy wife?
Mm-hmm.
That's it for that one.
Yeah. Let's go into Yeah, I got it. I'm just listening. Genesis chapter 3. And we're going to pick it up at verse 16. Read that, verse 16. Go ahead.
Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband.
And thy desire shall be to thy husband. So this is a curse from the Lord now. This is a punishment, I should say. This is a punishment for the woman. Her desire should be to her husband. She gonna have pain in giving birth. That's from the Lord. Go ahead and read.
And he shall rule over thee.
And that's going to happen because he got the preeminence. But as we read, so when we read this, the reason why I put it way down here so that don't nobody get a misunderstanding. All those things that we already read shows you that him ruling over her is not like he's her master or anything like that. It's just that he, in the image of the Godhead, he has the preeminence. So even though they both the same and they got the same power, it's just that he has a little bit more authority, put it that way. But he have to handle that authority with some wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and patience. That's why we read all the other things first. So it's not that the woman going to be treated as less of a person, a second-class citizen. No. We already read that you can't treat her like a second-class citizen. And you got to dwell with her with knowledge and some understanding and some love. But that's why I put that down there. So now let's go to Malachi, the second chapter. Malachi chapter 2. Malachi 2. It's right in front of Matthew. Malachi 2, and we're going to pick it up at verse 13. All right, go ahead, brother.
And this have ye done again, covering the altar of the Lord with tears, with weeping, and with crying out, insomuch that he regardeth not the offering any more, or receiveth it with good will at your hand?
Because you making these offerings, but you're not right in the mind. Your spirit, your heart is not right. Go ahead.
Yet ye say, wherefore? Because the Lord hath been witness between thee and the wife of thy youth, against thou hast dealt treacherously.
Against whom thou hast dealt treacherously. So the Lord is a witness to that. He's a witness to how you treat your wife.
He is.
But he also a witness to how the woman treat her husband. He's a witness. And he said, look, this is why your prayers are not getting answered. This is why your offerings are not accepted, because how you treat your spouse. I'm not going to listen to you because you one of them other people to me now. You are outsider now because you out of pocket. But go ahead and read.
Yet she is thy companion and the wife of thy covenant.
She's the wife of your what? Your covenant. So that a covenant is not something that you can get out of. She is your wife.
Yeah.
And you can't leave her, and she can't leave you. So why not live peaceably and have love one for another and honor one for another? Because the Lord is looking at this. The Lord got an innumerable amount of angels, and the evil angels are outnumbered 2 to 1 by the holy angels. But they all of them are ministering spirits. All of them are sent forth to serve the heirs of salvation. And they all serve God too. So they all, good or bad, report. They can't make you do nothing, but they can show tell on you. This is what's happening down there. This is how Jeroboam is treating his wife. This is how his wife treating him. And they just trying to be righteous. Continue to read.
15. And did not he make one? Yet he had the residue of the Spirit. And wherefore one? That he might seek a godly seed? Therefore take heed to your spirit, and let none deal treacherously against the wife of his youth.
Say, take heed to your spirit. Take control of your mind and treat this woman how she's supposed to be treated. Give her the honor that she's supposed to have. She's not a second-class citizen. Y'all are heirs of salvation together, because y'all are created in the image of the Godhead, properly said, in the image of the Godhead. That's how y'all are created. So it's not me without her, and it's not her without me. We are in the image of the Godhead, so we are heirs of salvation together. That's how that go. That's how the Lord intended this thing to be. So that when the time comes, y'all go in there together, side by side. Y'all feel me? Go ahead and finish.
That was it for that.
That was it?
Actually, no, one more verse.
Mm-hmm.
Ye have wearied the Lord with your words, yet ye say, wherein have we wearied him? When ye say, everyone that doeth evil is good in the sight of the Lord, and he delighteth in them, or where is the God of judgment?
You good? Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Let's go into, what we're going to, Exodus.
Yeah, Exodus
Exodus 35, right?
35.
Yeah, I just want to go here to show y'all something. So that the brothers can get a good understanding about this thing. And then, you know, after that, I don't know. I might bail out on y'all. I don't know. But Exodus, the 35th chapter. Exodus 35. We've been reading at verse 4. 35 and 4. Now the Lord had told Moses to get some things in order, you know, for the tabernacle of the Lord, for the you know, the place where they're gonna do sacrifice and all those kind of things. And he laid it out for me. He said, do it exactly how I give it to you. Don't do nothing different. Because the Lord is order. Everything that the Lord do is order. You can't just do it your way. Everything has to be done in order, done orderly. We don't just do things willy-nilly. We don't just fly by the seat of our pants. That's for them people out there. But we got to stand on our square. We got to stand on the Lord's business, right? So he giving Moses some specific instructions, but they're not just for Moses. But verse 4, go ahead and read.
And Moses spake unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which the Lord commanded, saying, Take ye from among you an offering unto the Lord. Whosoever is of a willing heart, let him bring it, an offering of the Lord, gold, silver, and brass.
Free will offering. Go ahead, gold, silver, and brass.
And
For the people that say you ain't got to give money. Gold, silver, and brass sound like money to me. But anyway, go ahead.
And purple and blue and scarlet and fine linen and goat's hair and ram skins dyed red and badger skins and shittim wood and oil for the light and spices for anointing oil and for the sweet incense and the onyx stones and stones to be set for the ephod. And
jewelry too, huh?
Yup.
Very expensive stuff. Go ahead and read.
And for the breastplate, and every wise-hearted among you shall come and make all that the Lord hath commanded.
So every wise-hearted among you shall come and do all these things that the Lord had commanded. Come on.
And the tabernacle, his tent, and his covering, and his taches, and his boards, his bars, his pillars, and his sockets.
Mm-hmm. So now everybody know how to do this stuff. They got to put work in, and also everybody got to make a free will offering. You should want to make this free will offering because the Lord gave you all this stuff. So if you got some knowledge and you come do this, right? Let's skip down to verse 21. 21, let's go.
And they came, everyone whose heart stirred him up, and everyone whom his spirit made willing, and they brought the Lord's offering to the work of the tabernacle of the congregation for all his servants, and came for the holy garments.
So now, these people, they came out to do what the Lord had commissioned them to do. Pick it up in verse 26.
Verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
And the women, all the women whose heart stirred them up in wisdom, spun goat's hair.
So all the women whose heart stirs them up in wisdom, they spun goat's hair. Go ahead.
And the rulers brought onyx stones, and the stones to be set for the ephod, and for the breastplate, and the spice, and the oil for the light, and for the anointing oil, and for the sweet incense.
Mm-hmm.
The children of Israel brought a willing offering unto the Lord, every man and woman.
Every man and woman brought a willing offering, right?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Whose heart made them willing to bring for all manner of work, for which the Lord had commanded to be made by the hand of Moses.
Mm-hmm. Keep on reading.
And Moses said unto the children of Israel, See, the Lord hath called by name Bezaleel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah. And he hath filled them with the Spirit of God, and of wisdom, and understanding, and in knowledge, and in all manner of workmanship, and to devise curious works to work in gold, and in silver, and in brass.
So now he got people that got these kind of skills. But I went here to show you that the women helped to build the tabernacle of the congregation. They helped to do it. So they helped in the ministry, because remember, when the Lord brought Israel out of Egypt, right? And he came to them, he said, you are going to be a kingdom of priests. That's what he said now. In a holy nation, right? How do you comprise a nation? How do you comprise a kingdom? What makes a kingdom in a nation? Only men? Because men can't procreate. So it had to be some women there, right?
Had to.
Huh? So when he said a kingdom of priests and a holy nation, that includes the females too.
All day.
So even though they can't stand up here and do what I'm doing, they better do what I'm doing. Because if they don't do it, they're going to be in trouble. You can't sit there and, somebody is starving for some understanding. You can't sit there with, I'm a woman. That ain't my business. The Lord going to be to see you. We used to have, it was a sister used to come here. She worked at this place where a lot of young people come into, and they, troubled or whatever, they got in trouble with their parents or however it go, they got to live there now. And she came to me and she said, I need you brothers to come to my job and this, that, and that. I said, why we got to come to your job? Don't you know the word? She said, yeah, but I can't. I said, who told you that? You can't, it ain't no brother there to do it, right? That means you got to do it.
Right.
It's just like in the days of Deborah. She judged Israel, and they said, we ain't going to war unless she go with us. She said, boy, you don't even know what you're talking about. Because don't you know you ain't going to get no honor for this? It's all going to come to me. But she wasn't the only prophetess. The Lord had prophetesses, right? Even Miriam, Moses' sister, was a prophetess. There was another prophetess called Huldah. It was a lot of these people. I'm talking women that worked for God. So don't let nobody deceive you into thinking that the Lord ain't dealing with you and the Lord don't work with you. It's a kingdom of priests and a holy nation that it comprises everyone. So that we all have to walk in step. We all have to walk in line, and we all got a job to do. Just like we just read here, the sisters had a job to do as well. The Lord didn't say all the men. He said all the people, whoever it is that got these skills, come on, do this work. Let's get this work. That was it?
Yeah, that was it for that one.
Okay. Now, it's kind of late. So I think y'all can read the rest on y'all own. So we're going to get out of here. But I thank you for your time, and I hope y'all got some understanding out of this lesson.